The night Adisa buried his father's calabash under the Iroko tree, he did not know his younger brother Kehinde was watching from the shadows. He did not know that this single act, committed in silence, in the hour when only owls and spirits move, would unravel everything their father had spent a lifetime weaving together. Their father, Balagun Ojo, had been the most respected elder in Ilẹ Ìwọ. He possessed only one treasure of great worth, a carved calabash said to have been touched by Orunmila himself, filled with a red powder that brought clarity to the mind and favor to the heart of any man who carried it. On his deathbed, Balagun whispered to both sons together, "This calabash belongs to the son who proves he carries my spirit." Then he closed his eyes and was gone. Neither brother spoke of it for 7 days of mourning. On the 8th night, Adisa crept to the ancestral hut and took it. Before we go further, if you love stories like this, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. Every week we bring ancient wisdom back to life through the voices of our ancestors. Now, let us return to Adisa and Kehinde. Adisa was the elder by 3 years. He was broad-shouldered and sharp-tongued, the kind of man who could negotiate the price of palm oil down to nothing before the seller even realized he had smiled. He believed the calabash belonged to him by birth. Was he not the firstborn? Was he not the one who had swept the compound every morning while Kehinde slept? Was he not the one who had nursed their father through the long rains when his legs refused to carry him? Kehinde was quieter, like still water before a storm. He farmed the land and spoke little, but the people of Ilẹ Ìwọ said that when Kehinde spoke, even the trees leaned in to listen. He had inherited his father's patience, that deep, unhurried faith that the earth gives what it must give, only to those who wait. When Kehinde found the calabash missing the next morning, he did not shout, he did not go to the age-grade council. He simply sat at the base of the Iroko tree where he had watched his brother dig, and he waited. 3 market cycles passed. In that time, something strange began to happen to Adisa. He had expected prosperity. He had expected doors to open, rivals to fall back, women to notice him, and traders to trust him. And at first they did. The red powder, rubbed on his palms before every deal, seemed to hum against his skin. Men signed agreements they had refused for years. The village headman invited him to sit at the great gathering. Adisa laughed at night and thanked whatever spirit lived in that carved wood. It remembered the hand that had cradled it first, their father's, and it remembered the manner of the taking. A gift taken without consent is not a gift. It is a debt, and debts in the spirit world do not stay quiet. Soon, Adisa began to lose sleep. Not the ordinary sleeplessness of a worried man, but something stranger. He would wake before the cock crowed and hear his father's voice in the courtyard, repeating the same 4 words. Did you ask him? Just those 4 words, every night. Did you ask him? His deals began to sour. A cloth trader from Asogbo accused him of short measuring. 2 of his farm plots gave no harvest after the rains. His eldest daughter fell ill with a fever that no herbalist could name. The village headman stopped calling his name at gatherings. Adisa consulted a babalawo at the edge of town, a wiry old man whose face seemed carved from the same wood as the Iroko. The old man threw his divination chain, studied the pattern for a long, uncomfortable silence, and said only this: "The mouth that swallows its brother's share will find that even water tastes like ash." It took Adisa 2 more weeks to do what he already knew he had to do. Pride is the heaviest thing a man carries, heavier than yam sacks, heavier than grief. He carried it all the way to Kehinde's compound on a Thursday evening, the calabash wrapped in cloth under his arm, the same cloth their mother used to tie to her back when she carried both of them as infants. Kehinde was sitting outside, sharpening a hoe. He looked up when Adisa entered. He said nothing. Adisa placed the calabash on the ground between them and sat down across from it. For a long moment, neither man spoke. A gecko ran across the mud wall. A child laughed somewhere in the distance. I watched you, Kehinde said, finally, his eyes still on the hoe. That same night. I know, said Adisa. He pressed his palms to his knees. I want to return it. Kehinde set the hoe down and looked at his brother, truly looked, the way their father used to look at them when they brought him a problem he had already known the answer to. It was never about the calabash, Adisa. Adisa swallowed. I know that too. Kehinde reached forward and lifted the cloth from the calabash. He turned it in his hands, the same hands that had turned soil every morning for 20 years. Then he held it out to Adisa. Father said it belongs to the son who carries his spirit. His spirit was not greed, brother, but it was also not the kind of man who cannot admit when he has walked the wrong road. Come back with me to the Iroko. We will bury it together. That is what father meant. What the ground keeps. They buried the calabash together at the base of the Iroko as the sun fell behind the hills and painted the sky the color of palm wine. They did not speak much. They did not need to. The people of Ilẹ Ìwọ noticed the change before the brothers could explain it. Adisa's daughter's fever broke that night. By the next market, 2 traders came back to finalize deals they had abandoned, and Kehinde, who had never asked for anything, found 3 of his best cows had given birth to healthy calves in a single week. The babalawo at the edge of town smiled when he heard. He was not surprised. The elders say this still, in Ilẹ Ìwọ and in all the towns that learned the story from its telling. Eni tobakba igbo re luju, opa rare lokan. He who blinds his brother blinds himself in the heart. Balagun Oja had not given the calabash to either son. He had given them a test, and the test was not about ownership. It was about whether, when the moment came, one brother could walk back to the other and say, I was wrong. That is the hardest walk any man will ever take. Harder than the forest, harder than the farm, harder than war. And it is the one walk that the ancestors will always reward. This story is yours now. Carry it with you. If the tale of Adisa and Kehinde moved something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for a new folktale every week and drop a comment below. Who did you see yourself in, the elder brother or the younger? Our ancestors said, Ani tobakba ita na kunisonu ninu igbo. He who listens to stories will never be lost in the forest. We'll see you in the next story.